In today's video, we are going to be recreating this Iman Gadzhi AI style again, and this will be the part 2 to the first video that we have done on the AI Iman Gadzhi animations. So let's start. Right here, I already have created some assets that we can use, but first thing first, let's go to this cogwheel on the bottom right and change our frame rate to 60 frames per second. So the change in mind, because this clip is in 60 frames per second and we want to copy it, so it has to have the same frame rate. What have I created here with the AI? It's this image right here. But for the video, we need it separated from the background. So as you can see, I've already separated from the background, and right here we have our boy and our background separated, so we can animate them separately. Okay, I've created this with Leonardo AI. It's a free AI image creation service that you can check out, or you can just use the assets that I provided in the description. Okay, so first things first, let's add our clip in right here, and then let's get our fusion composition in and make it the same length as our clip. Okay, let's jump right into Fusion. Now that we're in Fusion, first we're gonna need a background node, so let's connect it to the media out like this and change the alpha to 0. So next thing we can do is open our media pool, and this clip of Iman's animation, we are just gonna drag it in and leave it right here. Next thing that we are gonna do is bring in our background right here. So let's connect it over. Right here we have our background. Let's quickly rename it. So just click on your media in node and just press F2 and type in BG so we know what we are working with. Next thing that we're gonna add is this cutout of a boy. So let's just rename it to boy so we know what we are working with. We will also need this gear icon, so let's just drag it in for now and type in gear. So now we can close our media pool, and let's drag this clip in the first viewer like this. So you just click on it and drag it to the first viewer. Okay, first thing that we see is that this picture is really purple, so let's fix that. Let's click on this merge to right here and then press shift plus space and type in color corrector right here. And right here in this wheel, we can just drag it to all the way to the purple, to somewhere around here. Let's get a bit darker. I think this looks about okay, so we are gonna leave it at that. Okay, so let's play the video and let's see. Let's turn off high quality and motion blur and turn off auto proxy and turn on proxy. You can do it by pressing the right click right here. It's just so your playback looks a lot better and smoother. So let's press play. Okay, so first thing that we see, that this boy's head is moving like this. How can we remake that in DaVinci? Well, there are actually a couple of ways that we can do. Since I'm using the free version of DaVinci and not a studio version, we don't have a warper tool, but we do have a grid warp tool. So let's click on our boy node right here and then shift plus space and type in grid warp. And as you can see, now we have something like this. So what we can do is just click here and move the boy's head like this. But as you can see, it's not really doing a good job. It looks a bit wonky and clunky, so we are not gonna use a grid warp for this. Let's delete the grid warp and then press shift plus space again and type in vortex. I know for now this looks like what the fuck is happening here, but bear with me. Okay, we are gonna change our angle to somewhere around here. It would be good. We are gonna increase our power a bit, and then when we increase our size, you see there's a little bit of movement. It looks like he is moving his head. Let's just zoom in so you can see what's happening. As you can see, his whole body is just moving quite a bit. We can actually get our angle a bit up, and it looks even better. So this is a very simple workaround that can make your characters look like they're alive. So first thing that we're gonna do is go to frame 0 and keyframe our size like this. Then let's see, how does his head move. It moves till frame 90, I would say. And let's keyframe our size again. And it goes down on 180 again. So let's keyframe it again. So we want to keep the first and last values the same and only change the middle keyframe that we have made. So let's go here and just increase our size to somewhere around 1.2. Now let's open our spline. Let's check this box right here. And then let's click this button. That means zoom to fit. Let's click this button right here. That's to select all the keyframes. And then just press S on our keyboard to smooth them out. And the next thing that we are gonna do is this button right here. We're gonna press that and we are gonna set a loop. So as you can see right here in our spline tab, it has created the loop throughout the entire duration of our composition. So it will just recreate those movements over and over again. As you can see. So we are done with that. So let's see how this looks when we play. As you can see, it looks like he's moving his head and breathing at the same time. So we get that illusion like he is alive. That's done. Okay, let's see the next thing that we can do. As we can see right here at the bottom right here, we have this like shadow going in and we have this gear coming in from the left side. So let's do that now. First thing that we're gonna do is bring in a background node. And we are gonna connect this rectangle to the mask of our background and let's merge everything over right here. And now, as you can see, we have something like this, but we don't want that. So let's just increase the width of this and the height as well. And just bring it up to somewhere around here. But still, that's not what we want. We want it to be only on the bottom and not up here. So we are gonna just click this invert button right here. And now we have exactly what we need, but we can just pull it a bit up like this. Okay, now as you can see, it's not the same as this right here. What we need to do is control our soft edge right here. So we control our soft edge and somewhere around here. I would say that this looks completely okay. So let's see, when does it start coming in? It starts coming in from the frame 50. So we can actually just, after our background, add a transform node, keyframe the center right here. And let's go to see when it's up, completely up. It's on frame 100. So let's keyframe it again on the center and go back to our first keyframe, and on our Y value, we're gonna just pull it down to somewhere like 2.5. And then we are gonna go in our spline, again, press zoom to fit, and then select all, and just press S on our keyboard to smooth that movement in. So let's see it now. That's exactly what we needed. Now, the exact same thing with the gear that we have added previously. So let's go to frame 50 again, and then let's connect it over like this. Now we have something like this. One way we can color this white is click on our gear, press shift plus space, and then type in color generator. Now, right now we have a color generator and it looks something like this. That's not what we want, but we can take the out from the gear right here again and connect to the mask of the color generator, and now we have something like this. It's completely white and it's masked out only the parts that we need. Next thing that we can add is glow. We are gonna go with soft glow, and we are gonna increase our glow size and decrease our gain to somewhere 1.2. Maybe we can increase glow size a bit more to somewhere around here. I would say looks amazing. We can go to our merge, and as we can see, it's not really that visible. So let's go to the settings of the merge and bring our blend down to somewhere around 0.4. Should work okay. Okay, now let's go back to our soft glow, click on it, and then press shift and space and add it a transform node right here. And we want it to show only on the bottom left part. So somewhere around here should be okay, but we need it to be bigger. So let's increase our size a bit to somewhere around 1.8. And this looks good in my opinion. So let's go back to frame 50, leave a keyframe on our center and on our angle, because in his video, as we can see, it flies in and it continues spinning. So we need to do the exact same thing with this too. So it goes from frame 50 to frame 100, it's fully visible. So here we are gonna keyframe our center again, but as we can see, it just keeps spinning. So we're gonna go to the end of our composition and keyframe the angle there. So let's go to our first keyframe and just move this gear wheel out of the way on the left. So we are gonna use the center X value for that and just move it left out of the way like this. So now if you play it, it will just come in, and that's exactly what we want. So let's go to our spline, let's adjust this window. We don't want angle for now, so we can turn it off. Let's go here and then again zoom to fit, select all and just smooth it out. We can actually adjust our spline to somewhere around here. You can actually press T on your keyboard and this ease in and ease out will show up. So just in ease in, type in 90, and now we have something like this, which is exactly what we wanted. Let's close the spline for a second there, and our gear is flying in and it needs to continue turning. So let's go back to the last keyframe on our angle and type in something like -100. I think it will look good. Yeah, that's about it. So let's go back to spline. Now let's disconnect this displacement and just get our angle right here. Again, we can just zoom to fit, select all and press S to smooth those things out, and it looks something like this, which is exactly what we want. So let's go back, exit our spline right here, go to our transform, and in the settings right here we can enable the motion blur. So now when it flies in, it's gonna have a bit of a motion blur, but we turned it off. We can turn it back on again, and as you can see, it has a bit of a motion blur. We can actually pump up the quality a bit to something like 4 and shutter angle to something like 250. So as you can see now, it has that motion blur when it's moving. Okay, let's go and turn off our motion blur again right here. So the next thing that we have is this right here spawning in. So it's like a little window that pops open and it has some text on it. So we are gonna recreate it right now. First, we are gonna need our background. That's right here. And let's just merge it over for now like this. Second thing that we need is this rectangle mask. Let's just connect it right here. We can make our width a bit smaller, something like 0.35, and our height can go down somewhere around 0.25. I think it will be enough. Maybe it's too big, so our width can go down a bit more to somewhere like 0.3, and we can adjust our corner radius just a bit, so we have something like this. Next thing that we see that it has like this white outline. So the way to create this in DaVinci Resolve, we have done this in previous Iman Gadzhi edits, is just click anywhere right here and then shift place and type in erode dilate. We need this node and connect the output of our background to right here. And then we need another background node. So connect our erode dilate to the mask of our background and then merge it over back to here. In our merge, we are gonna set our operator to under. We are gonna go to our background and change the color to white like this. And then we can get this to the side right here. And let's click on our background right here and add a transform node. So we are gonna transform the size of it, but we are not gonna use this size right here. We are gonna uncheck this use size and aspect, and then we are gonna manually increase our X size to 1.01, and we are gonna increase our Y size to the same value. The next thing that we are gonna do, as you can see right here, it goes completely blank and it just starts spawning in. So frame 66, we are gonna go to our merge, and in our settings we are gonna keyframe our blend. On frame 80 we're gonna keyframe our blend again. Let's go back to the first frame and then get our blend all the way to 0. I access the spline, again zoom to fit, and just smooth this out. So now we have it like this. That's exactly what we wanted. So let's exit our spline. Next thing that we are gonna do is animate this like opening up. So let's go frame 66 right here. Let's go to our rectangle, and on our width we are gonna keyframe it once. And let's go to frame 108 right here, and we are gonna keyframe this width again. Let's go back to the first frame, and in our width we are gonna make it to somewhere like 0.15, I would say. We can go even smaller to somewhere around 0.5. So now it spawns in exactly like Iman Gadzhi's. Okay, so let's get this all up right here. Next thing that we need is this text. As you can see, this text starts spawning in like this. First we have this revenue per month, and then this text right up here, that's $2,000. So let's get our text plus node in. In our font we are gonna choose Helvetica, and we are gonna choose a regular. So we are gonna type in revenue per month. So let's merge it over, and our text is a bit too big, so let's scale it down to somewhere around here and just get it down right here. Next thing that we are gonna do is go right click right here in the text window and then add a follower modifier. Let's go to our modifiers right here, and in our delay we are gonna delay it by something like 0.3 for now, and we are gonna see if it's working okay. So let's go to our shadings tab. Let's scroll down till we find this position window, and right here that it sets offset X and Y, we're gonna click this keyframe right here. Let's see when does it spawn in. So frame 90, and we are gonna keyframe our offset. Don't worry, it opens this path window. We are gonna just go back and click on the follower 2 times and go back to our follower modifier, and let's see the next. I would say the frame 120 is the last frame, so let's keyframe it again and just bring our revenue per month down to something like -5, -0.5. And as you can see now, it starts moving down like this. We can actually go back to our timing and increase our delay to something like 0.8, and then it's gonna start to spawn like this. We can actually increase our delay by quite a bit, to somewhere around 4, I would say. Now we have something similar to theirs. Let's go back to our text tab right here. Next thing that we can do is go to our follower text, and then right click here and choose text scrambler. Okay, so right here we are gonna keyframe our randomness, and on frame 180 we are gonna keyframe it again. So let's go back to the first frame, and we are gonna increase our randomness to somewhere around 0.26, and then we have something like this. For some reason it doesn't want to scramble the last 2 words, but we're gonna leave it at that. Next thing that we have, as you can see right here, it starts writing on and writes on word per word. So frame 180. So that's exactly what we are gonna do. We are gonna go back to our tools right here in our text node right here, and right here we have a write on. So we are gonna keyframe it on frame 90 and on frame 180. On frame 180 we want it to be at 1, so let's go back to the first frame and let's just drag this over like this. So now we have almost the exact same thing that they have. Okay, next thing that we need is this $2,000. So again, one more text plus node. So let's merge it over. Let's get this merged right here. So we are gonna type in 1000. Again, Helvetica. We're gonna use this one. So let's leave it here. When does it come in? It comes in right here. So let's go frame before. Let's go to our transform tab and keyframe the X and Y offsets, and then go right to here and keyframe it again. So let's go to the first frame and increase our Y offset to somewhere around here. I would say looks okay. So now we have something like this. Okay, let's go to our spline, select all, and then just smooth it out. We can actually increase our ease in to somewhere around 70, I would say. It needs to start out a little bit faster, so we are gonna decrease the ease out to somewhere around 18, I think. Yep, that looks nice right now. Okay, let's go back to our text right here. Again, go to the first keyframe we have created and keyframe our right on. And on the last one, it's gonna be right here. And keyframe the right on again. And just go back to the first frame and get our right on all the way to 0. So now it looks something like this. And again, we can go just right click here on the text and add a scramble modifier. Let's go to modifiers and we just wanna scramble it with numbers. So let's go to the first one right here and keyframe the randomness. And again, keyframe the randomness right here. So here we can just increase our randomness to somewhere like 0.8, I would say. And there we go. We have the exact same thing that we want. Okay, let's exit out our spline. Let's go back to tools, settings. We can turn on motion blur for both of those. Now we have a motion blur on them. Let's close our effects tab. Now all we have to do is make like 2 more copies of this. So let's make a space for that. Right here, let's copy it over once. And then 2 times. So let's connect right here and right here. Okay, next thing that we are gonna need is a DV node. So let's go to the merge 8 of the first one that we created and type in DVE. We could actually add in a grid at the end here. Let's make this like this and this also like this. So 3 rows and 3 cells, just so we can see what we are doing where. So let's go back to our DV node and then just adjust our center right here. We could actually size this down a little bit because it's not so big. So let's go to our merge right here and in the size, let's size it down to somewhere around, I think 0.85 works great. Let's adjust this right here and right here. Looks great. Okay, so why did we need a DV node? Because we wanted, as you can see here, it's a bit slanted. So let's go on our Y right here and make it somewhere around 10. And on our Z one, we can add a 1 or a -1. No, we can leave it at 1. So just on our Y rotation type 10 and on our Z rotation type 1. Okay, so let's go to the second one right here. It doesn't have to be slanted or anything, so we are just gonna type in right here after this merge transform and just bring it down a little bit. And in our merge, let's size it down to 0.85. Okay, let's go back to our transform and just get it down a bit more, somewhere around here. Works great. And then on our last one, we are gonna go first to our merge and 0.85. Let's make it smaller. And after this merge, let's add a DVE node again. So let's get right here, right here. As we have typed in positive numbers for this, so Y rotation was 10, we are gonna type in -10 right here and -1 So now we have something like this. We can just make it a bit more far away, just somewhere around here. Okay, so now this all starts like this. All we need to do is change these numbers right here. So let's go to the second one, and instead of 2000 it's gonna be 5000, and then it's gonna be 10,000 for the last one, like this, which is great. Also, we're gonna go here to these merges for the last two of those and go to our settings and keyframe the blend. Let's go back to the first one. Let's see, frame 80. Okay, so first one will be frame 66 and then frame 80, so like this. And let's just go back and drag this back to 0. So frame 66, keyframe it, frame 80, we're gonna keyframe it again. That's because, as you can see right here, we can see it, but when we keyframe it on the frame 80 as well, and then bring it back, we can't see it anymore. Okay, so now we can delete this grid right here, and when we play it, they all spawn at the same time, but we don't want that. So right here, the first one spawns in, finishes, the second one starts spawning in. So we are gonna go right here and select everything right here in our second tree and go to keyframes. Let's just open this up a bit. Open this, this, and this. So let's zoom to fit. As you can see, everything right here has to be selected. We managed to select everything. I think we did. Oh, the first ones aren't selected for some reason. So let's go again. Select those two. Okay. And we are just gonna click and drag it all to frame 125. So it all begins right here. So now we have the second one spawning in when it should. And on frame 186, we're gonna select the last three. So just select everything and again go into keyframes, open everything up just like this, and then we just need to select everything again. Just hold shift and select those at the front too, and just drag them over to right here. So now we should have them spawning in as well, exactly where we need them. Yep, this looks good. Next thing that we have are these lines right here. Let's start like this and go down to the bottom. We can easily recreate that, so let's drag this out. We are gonna recreate it using Text Plus, and you will see how. Okay, so first we are gonna connect our Text Plus to the main pipeline. And let's go to our Text Plus and just hold your minus button on the keyboard and do something like this. As you can see now, we have something like this, and we don't want that. So let's go to our layout, and from type point, we are gonna type in path. So this one starts here, but ends right here. So we are gonna make something like this, as you can see, which is great. Next thing that we are gonna do is add a rectangle mask to it. So let's connect it over. Let's adjust our rectangle mask. It should be something like this. Let's just bring it up a bit, and we are gonna increase our soft edge just a bit. Next, that thing that we can do is add a soft glow. Soft glow right here, and we are gonna decrease our glow size and our gain just a bit, so somewhere around here. Let's go back to our text node. I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm clicking, and right here in our size we can decrease it a bit to make it smaller and increase our tracking, so it looks something like this. But as you can see, this also writes on, so around frame 65 we have to keyframe the right on all the way until the frame 125. On the first frame, these will be the values, and on the last it will be this. So as you can see now, it goes quite smoothly down there. We can open our spline and just deselect the path. We just want right on start and end, and then select everything and smooth it out. So now it looks a bit smoother. Okay, next thing that we have to do is, as you can see here, it keeps moving and moving and moving until the end. So let's go to frame 60, go on our layout here in the text and keyframe position on path, and then go to the last keyframe and again position on path, and we are just gonna increase it to somewhere around 2.2, I would say. So let's see now. Yep, this is exactly what we wanted. So the next thing that we need is 2 more lines just like this. So we are gonna do exactly that. Again, let's add our text plus node and just connect it like this. We can also copy this soft glow and paste it right here. So let's go back to our text, as we can see here, and copy those dashes and go back to our new text and just paste them in. We can also copy these as well, the size and the tracking. As we are gonna need this once more, we are just gonna copy it right here and leave it for now. So let's go back to our text plus node and then go to layout and go to path, and let's create our path again. So just as you can see, it comes from somewhere around here under his chin. That's exactly what we are gonna do. So just click here and then click right here and hold and adjust our handle to somewhere along here. We are gonna click this button right here, insert and modify, and we're gonna click on the first point and just adjust it a bit so it looks something like this. And we can adjust this a little bit too. Now it looks a lot better. So next thing that we are gonna need is a rectangle mask. We can just copy this rectangle mask like this and then just drag it over to somewhere around here. You can just make it a little bit like this. Yeah, this is about right. And we can bring it up just a bit. So now again, we have this, but we do need our right on effect as in Iman's video. So let's see, when does it start? Frame 124. So let's go back to our text. Let's go here to text. And then we are gonna adjust our right on to somewhere around here, 0.4, and then keyframe it. And let's see, when does it end? Somewhere around frame 186. We are gonna keyframe our right on again and just adjust it so it's fully written on like this. So now this is what we have right here, which is nice. And let's go back to frame 124, go to our layout and then position on path, keyframe it once, go to the last frame, keyframe it again and increase it. How much did we have it in this one? Let's copy the exact same value so they are moving the same. And now we have created the exact same thing that we needed, and it's moving the same and everything else, which is great. Now we have to do it again for the third line. So let's just connect it over like this. Let's go to our text, go to our layout and choose path. Again, we are gonna click right here and then click right here and hold, and let's adjust our handles a bit like this. Again, go to this button, insert and modify, and click on the first one, and we are gonna adjust our handle to somewhere around here. I would say should be enough. Let's see now. Yeah, that looks about right. So let's again copy our rectangle and connect it to the mask of our text node. For this one, we are gonna have to make it a bit bigger. So let's just readjust it So somewhere around here, just make it a bit bigger. Now we have something like this. We could maybe increase our soft edge just by a little bit. Okay, so again, we do have this, but we still need our write on. So let's see, when does it start? On frame 182. So let's go to our text node right here, go back to text, and on our write on, we are gonna keyframe it right here, and let's bring this down until we don't see the line anymore, which is about 0.35 for me. And then let's see, when does it fully extend? Around frame 263. So let's keyframe it again, and then just increase our write on to about right here, so we have the exact same thing as here. And the only thing that's left is to go on the first frame right there, and then go to our layout, make a keyframe for position and path, and then go to the last frame, make the keyframe position and path again. Let's go back right here, copy this exact same number, and let's see. I think we are just gonna need to add a bit more of these minuses because it is cut off right here, so we need more space. So let's just add more, as you can see, and now it's fully out here. So let's compare the two now, and it starts, gets to here, second one starts, gets to there, third one starts and gets to there, which is amazing. Last thing that we have is this right here, the power of setting the right power oriented goal. And it all has to be behind this dude right here, which is very easy to do. So let's go right to the beginning of our node tree and move this out of the way. Then we are gonna add our text node right here. So how does it write on? So it just comes from up to down, and it has a write on, as you can see. So let's go to our text. We can type in anything that we want, but we will type in edited by MBvisualedits. Again, we are gonna choose the font Helvetica. There we go. It can stay bold, but we are gonna decrease the size by quite a bit, and let's bring it over right here. Just get it up by a little bit. And now we have this. And next thing that we are gonna do is right click here, again add a follower modifier, increase the delay to 3, and let's go to our shading. Again, on the position, let's see, right here on the frame 355, it starts going down, so we are gonna keyframe our position. Again, it opens the path, just double click on the follower and get back. And let's see, somewhere around frame 380, I think we can set the next keyframe. Yeah, I think 380 is right. And just bring it down like this. Let's go with minus 0.5. Now let's see how does it look now. We can just decrease our delay by a little bit. Let's go with 2.5. Let's see now. We can decrease a bit more, so let's go with 1.5. Yep, that looks about right. So we can leave it at that. We could also go and add in a scramble modifier again. Text scramble, right click and then just text scramble, and then just take out the numbers. On the first frame right here, we are gonna keyframe our randomness, and on the last frame, let's see, maybe on frame 400 we can keyframe our randomness again. On the last frame it will be 0. On the first we can increase it to somewhere around 0.55, I would say. So now it looks something like this. The last thing that we have to do is go back to our tools, and here in write on, we are gonna keyframe it right here, and we are gonna keyframe it again on frame 413. And let's go back to the first frame and let's bring it down all the way. So let's compare now the two now. Yeah, that looks about right. So let's go to our spline, select everything, and then just go select all and press S on our keyboard to smooth everything out. And now we have something like this, which looks good. But the next thing that we can go is just go to our tools and just set it up a bit higher up, so somewhere around here, and just leave it at that. The next thing that we need is this blue line right here. So one way to do it would be to add a background node. and we can just add a polygon mask to it. Let's connect it. Let's go to our background right here, and let's just copy this color right here. So we have the same color as him, and then let's connect it over like this. And in our polygon, we are just gonna click right here. Yeah, right here is about good. And then we are gonna hold shift and just click right here, so we make this line straight. And as you can see now, we don't see anything, but we can easily adjust that by increasing our border width right here in the polygon mask. And now we have something like this. We can maybe increase our border width a bit more, somewhere around 0.003 range. So how does it write on? From the middle, it writes on both sides. So let's go to frame 355 and keyframe both position and length. Bring the position to right here. And after this, let's see where does it end. On frame 410, so we can keyframe position and length again. Go back to the first keyframe, adjust our length to back here, and adjust our position to right here. And we can again adjust our length so we don't see anything. So now when we play it, it goes on the both sides simultaneously. And that's exactly what we were looking for. Okay, what can we do now? We can click on this background right here and add a soft glow. So now we have this exact same glow as he does. We can increase our glow size maybe, or glow gain somewhere around here. This looks good. And the next thing that we can do is add a rectangle mask and connect it to the merge of this polygon of this line. So right here, let's move our mask up there. We can adjust it like this, increase this quite a bit, and we can increase this a bit more, adjust it to somewhere around here, and then just increase our soft edge so we have that fade as he has right here. We could maybe make it a bit more like this and increase the soft edge a bit more, so somewhere around here. I think it looks okay. So the next thing that we can do is go to our polygon and turn off on the motion blur, so when it moves it has a bit of that blur. We can do the same thing with our text. So these are our lines. Just go on and turn on motion blur for every single one of them. Now we have motion blur for these. We can go back to our texts from these here windows, and again we have turned on motion blur for this one and for this one too. Same with these. Yeah, they have motion blur, which is great. So we can go to this text too and turn on motion blur for that too. So there it is. This is the end of the edit. And if you want to learn more about how to edit like Iman Gadzhi, then this video is for you.